orders requested I take command. I assume no one's had objections. I object. You have an unexpected weakness, he said. The magical tool to raise the dead! I swore. You know what this is? I suppose you understand what's happening here.
Time for more. Ooh, will we find out about Ray's mom?
So I've got some questions about that.
Okay.
Ray's mom.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that the protagonist of the game has a mom.
Yep.
Which I never really thought about that, because we're like, oh, okay, so Ray's transported to this world, taking the role of the protagonist, and now she has a home. But that's interesting, right? Because she's like, you don't really think about these kinds of things. But yeah, we had a lot of very interesting, tense, funny Dole Whip moments last time.
Tense and funny Dole Whip moments.
Dude, Claire's dad is just
he's something.
I mean, he's the way he is because, you know, that's just how the game has coded him, but in general, yeah, he's just a real peach.
Yep.
It's a real peach. And Claire stood up to him for as much as she possibly could. And Ray kept her mouth shut, which I was happy about, because even she knew, like, yeah, I shouldn't say anything. That's rough, you know, because Claire takes her status as being an aristocrat very seriously. But yet, what happened with Lenny, she's just like, yeah, but she's always been there. She's like my older sister.
Right.
She's already been exiled. What more do you want?
Yeah.
Well, Dole Whip wanted other things.
He wants to talk shit is what he wants to do.
That.
Yeah. All right, we got some great comments.
Yeah, we got some comments we're going to go ahead and check out here.
Yeah.
So we got Jenner's the Harmonica Playa. Lily is a character that appears briefly in Chapter 3. She is the one that cured the commoner boy that got engulfed in flames, and her dialogues have stuttering. She'll appear later. Okay, I'm excited for that. Like, yeah, I know some people were talking about Lily before, and I don't know who that was, so that's apparently, like, a very hyped-up character in the series.
I see.
Michaela, hooray! For Laire's first date! If only Ray had realized that's what it was. That's true!
Right.
Okay, seriously, that was so annoying!
I know.
I'm like, Ray, really?
You just want to
You
shake
just
her.
want to, like, be, Ray!
Oh.
But yeah, so anyway, that happened. We have Logan King at 3788. Might I recommend my next life as a villainess for your potential reading too? I've heard about that.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know much about it, but I just know, like, villainous stuff is very popular right now.
Right.
So, yeah, there's, like, a lot of anime, a lot of manga and novels about villainess.
Uh-huh.
And then we have here with QMoon6388 with the timestamp of, well, click on the timestamp and you'll see why it's funny with the laugh emoji face. Michaela, don't worry. You'll meet someone soon you can give the Rod voice to. Rod's voice is gonna return? Okay. Blue Butterfly replied, I was thinking the same thing. He appears in the next scene. The one person Ray never wanted to see? Oh! This is her dad.
Oh!
Notice, because if you think about it, she didn't mention her dad. She mentioned her mom. Ginger Cat, Misha, how can you speak so directly to Master Dole? Ray, why not? He's my future father-in-law.
Yeah,
Dole Whip.
I permit this commoner to speak. Dole Whip.
I permit this commoner to speak with me because Claire permits her presence. Methinks, really? Is that the real reason, or how Ray's become Claire's maid closer to the truth? Dole and Claire's argument during the journey to me seems like Dole Whip is deliberately provoking Claire. Maybe Dole is cunningly challenging Claire's aristocratic views. Either way, what he said about Lenny is farting in a life elevator.
In a lift.
Elevator sings badly on many levels. Poor Claire, trying to turn her trip out with Ray into the first date, but failing miserably due to Claire finding it hard to be open about her feelings. Ray being dense loaf. Not seeing it and not understanding why Claire was being crusty to her. Ray's comments to Claire while touching Claire's underwear had no right to be so funny. That thorny comment, perfectly placed and amongst the serious set of scenes, comes out of the blue, takes you completely by surprise.
Yeah, like suddenly.
It's thorny, but it certainly helped as Claire opened up to Ray about how she was feeling. Claire has come a long way already from thinking of Ray as a pain in the arse and calling Ray by her first name, seeing Ray as someone she can confide in, a potential girl suitor. As for who Lily is, you have seen her, but you'll be introduced to her in chapter called You Secret. My
New
theory.
secret.
Ooh, I like theories.
Is she the girl pope
That's what I'm thinking about. Girl Pope. My theory. Minatia's maid reciprocated Minatia's feelings, but being a maid meant she was more aware of all the gossip doing the rounds in the royal court. It's likely the maid would have easily picked up on when the first signs of Minatia having a lover were being gossiped about. My guess that to protect Minatia's honor and prevent a scandal, the maid sacrificed her feelings by breaking up with Minatia because it would have been too painful to stay, chose to leave. The maid may also have feared receiving harsher punishment from the scandal. I like how you capitalize the P-U-N for punishment.
Yeah, because it chose to leave.
I know, because she's calm and vague compared to a member of the royal family. Ironically, Minatia's behavior from the pain and loss after the breakup resulted in a scandal the maid was trying to prevent. Yeah, that's something.
Oh.
That's something. That I was wondering that too. Dude, I wonder who this maid is. Okay?
Right?
But yeah, so anyway, I appreciate you all agreeing to Dole Whip. And I'm really curious who's gonna get the Rod voice.
Oh.
But now it is time for more of this wonderful. Hopefully, Ray. Like, I mean, I get it to an extent because Claire's like, "Hey, let's go out to eat." But at the same time, I'm kind of surprised she didn't jump on that. Really.
Yeah.
She's so like, yeah, but you know it's Ray. She didn't know. She's just like, I can relate though. It's
Let me
okay.
just talk more about how much I love you.
I can just relate with the dunce.
Let's go out on a date. No, I'm gonna talk more about how much I love you.
Yep. Let's see here. Okay, so then we said that's how it came to Claire visit home. Hey, Ray, it's been a while. Hi, Mr. Cloy. How have you been? Oh, it's Ray.
Mr.
You're
who?
back. Mr. McCloy.
McCloy. Okay.
Hi, Jane. How are you? Many people called out to me as we walked through my hometown the next day. I'd forgotten I was a heroine of the video game aimed at young girls. In the other words, I was popular.
Yeah.
How have you been? They said the capital is dangerous, so we've all been worried about you. The owner of the local hardware store said to me, "It's okay. Not as scary as everyone thinks it is." Is that right? Why even this town has been getting dangerous lately? Just a few days ago, some aristocrats who came by for the undead sending were missing. McCoy noticed my companion. Who's this young lady? Oh, I'm a schoolmate of Ray. My name is Claire. Claire cut in, hiding her true identity. But why? Oh my, you certainly are polite. With a friend like you on our little Ray must feel safer, even in the capital, eh? Yes. She takes very good care of me. And how is Ray doing, Claire? She was always the most capable kid in town. She's very capable at the academy, too. Everyone's aware of her talent. Is that so? Claire's answer seemed to delight the townspeople, probably because in their eyes, I was representative of their town.
Cute.
But as I smile along with them, I only had one thought. Stop getting in the way of our alone time.
Oh.
Yeah, that. You could have had a alone time on your date. That didn't happen.
Right?
Instead, more and more people started to gather around us. That's one. Ray? The one person I never wanted to see.
Oh no.
Louie! So it is you. It's so weird. It's a Rod voice, but it's not Rod. The boy said as he pushed through the crowd to get to us.
Lily's the boy?
Louie.
Louie. Okay, because we were talking about Lily.
Louie.
How does it spell?
Louie.
Louie.
She don't like
Okay.
Louie. Is
Okay.
Louie supposed to like the heroine? Because that's unfortunate for him. Because obviously Renee's not into that.
Okay, let's see what he
It's
has to
very
say.
nice to see you, Louie. Why are you talking to me like a stranger? After all we've been through. Louis said, chuckling at his own joke. Claire looked puzzled. Who is this? This is Louis. He's my, I'm like Ray's big brother, Miss Claire. Oh, okay. Louis finished my sentence for me. Wait, do you suspect Claire's true identity?
They finish each other's sandwiches. Okay, go ahead.
Apparently, so he continued, I'm an adventurer, and I know these things. As you might expect from a generic fantasy world, adventurers took jobs from guilds and were paid for them. It made sense that such an adventurer traveled all over the world would recognize the only daughter of the Bear Kingdom, Minister of Finance. Ray, you gonna stay a while? Well, just during the holidays. I see. Stop by my house later. My mom's been asking about you. Okay then. We're in a bit of a hurry, so we'll be off now. I said, pulling Claire away from that place. Hey, wasn't that a bit rude? Claire looked at me quizzically. It's fine. Louis is kind of a pain.
Oh, kind
Louis
of
is
a pain.
totally in love with you, Ray. Oh wait, Misha came out of nowhere. I thought she was gone.
Yeah.
Louis is totally in love with you, Ray.
I didn't
Misha
know
suddenly
Misha
popped
was
out of the
there.
crowd to snitch on me. Hey! I protested. Why, if it isn't Misha, Claire said. It's only been one day, Miss Claire. What in the world are you doing in a place like this? Misha had shed her school uniform, was wearing casual clothes. I was invited to Ray's house. Invited? Ray's house isn't exactly the place that you can be invited to.
Oh! A place is not a place you can be invited to. I wonder what that means.
Well,
Let's
there's
see.
a lot going on. I stumbled, unable to mention the issues between Claire and Dole Whip in front of Claire.
Oh.
Who cares about that? Claire demanded. What do you mean when you say a boy's in love with Ray? Whoa, that was the part she was hung up on. Read the room, Ray! Dude! It's simple. As you just saw, Ray is very popular in this town. Naturally, she has admirers. Claire's eyes glazed over me. Louie's just one of those admirers before Ray left town. She wasn't completely... There's no truth whatsoever to that. Claire's the only one for me. I cut Misha off before she could say anything else. Claire's stare was ice cold.
Ooh.
In truth, Misha wasn't lying. In the game, Louis played the role of the boy the main character was closest to. In other words, he was her boy from her past. The main character wasn't in love with him, but his presence in her backstory made things more exciting. If the player chose not to use tickets from the festival and visited her hometown instead, they triggered a love triangle event involving Louis and the prince, the character that was romancing. I figured that wouldn't happen since none of the princes were here, but... Miss Claire, you're jealous, aren't you? I am not jealous. In fact, I don't even know what you're implying. I have no idea.
She sure is.
Yeah, Miss Claire, what is it? There's nothing going between Louis and me. I wonder. You don't believe me? What is it, Misha? Would you please take your lover's quarrel elsewhere?
Your lover's quarrel.
This isn't a lover's quarrel, Claire squawked angrily. Oh, is that so?
Sure,
Then I will be
Claire.
leaving. Have fun, Ray. Wait, Misha! Having dropped that bomb on us, Misha left. What was she trying to do? Come on, Miss Claire, let's go.
She's like, my job here is done.
Yeah, I know, right? It was like cameo of Misha, and then I must away. It really is just adorable when you're jealous. Do you think you can fool me with such words? I thought for a minute. Then I hugged her in the middle of the street. There. Ah! You're so soft. What are you doing? She smacked me hard. It hurt, but I didn't let go. This is a public place. I'm not letting you go until you forgive me. Oh my gosh. I squeezed tighter. Fine, let's go. Ah! Why are you so disappointed? Aren't you asking me to forgive you? Yeah, but it just feels so wonderful to be holding you, Miss Claire. That is enough. Let go of me now. In a feat of strength, she broke free. Wow. Just I was starting to think you matured a bit. Oh, you're losing points today.
Uh-oh. She'll get him back.
Nobody can stop this overflowing love I have for you. Ugh, shut up. Now I'm exhausted before I've even been able to greet your mother and father. You mean your future in-laws? Get your mind out of the gutter this instant, you hear me? Miss Claire, are you ready? Aren't you being a bit dramatic? Claire and I stood before the door of my parents' home, which bore the name Taylor. Our name came from the word tailor. As you might expect, we owned a clothing store. I wanted to finally confirmation beforehand, but Claire looked dumbfounded. So, are you ready? Hurry up with it, Claire prompted, and I opened the door. I'm home. Huh? From the back of the store came a young girl who looked like a teenager. Oh, this is a new girl. Oh, look who it is! Welcome home! The girl ran up to me and gave me a warm hug. Her chest, which was voluptuous, of course, Renee. Renee's just like, yep. Enough to make me doubt we were even related at all. Pressed against my face. I'm suffocating. Oh, sorry. Oh, my God. Might you be Ray's older sister? Oh, my sister. You're quite the flatterer, aren't you? This is her mom. This is her mom.
Yeah.
The girl put her hand to her cheek, blushing and swayed. I'm Ray's mother, you adorable thing. Oh, boy! Really? Claire said, not your sibling then. Yes, this is my mother, Mel Taylor. She definitely didn't look like she could possibly have a daughter my age. We were often mistaken for sisters. Down now, that's enough flattery, Ray. Are you going to introduce me to your friend? My mother finally came back to earth. This is Claire Francois. She is the only daughter of Dole Whip Francois, Minister of Finance, and she is my employer. Please call me Claire. It's very nice to meet you. My mother's mouth was agape for the first moment, but then she smiled. Thank you for taking such good care of my daughter. I hope your relationship may continue. Ray, what were you talking about before? Your mother is wonderful, Claire whispered accusingly. She may look harmless, but...
It's coming.
Miss Claire, where's your jacket? Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, I do that. My mother said, holding Claire's jacket. Hey, what on earth? My mother has a bad habit of undressing people that she likes!
In case you're wondering what that other sound was, there's like a stool down here that KB just pushed with her foot.
Yeah.
So it sounded like a fart.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I was too distracted. Okay?
It was like...
Anyway, so, okay. So it was true. Claire grabbed her jacket from my mother and took it back as if she was afraid for her safety. Hi, I'm sorry. You have such an ideal figure. I wanted to take your measurements. This is so great.
This light novel broke me. I'm broken, okay? I'll never be put back together the same way.
Think of Bernardi. You'll be okay. What does that have to do with dressing me? My mother acts on instinct. Apparently, she isn't even consciously aware of what she's doing until it's done. That's not something you can do unconsciously, Claire cried. What's all the commotion? A giant man over 6 feet tall appeared. Oh, honey, Ray is home, and she brought the cutest girl with her, my mother explained. My father turned his penetrating gaze on us. I'm home, Dad. Nice to meet you. I was used to him, but Claire looked a little frightened. As his daughter, I'd be first to admit my dad has a scary face. It is lovely to meet you, Miss Claire. My name is Vaughn Taylor. This is my clothing store. Thank you for taking such good care of my daughter. My father said, showing her the utmost respect. You know who I am. You're the most famous young lady in the country after the royal family. Of course I know who you are. Is that so? Please, there's no need to be so formal. Dad, I was hoping to have Miss Claire stay here for a few days. Is that all right? Well. She's more than welcome, right, honey? We can't possibly expect her to put up with such humble conditions. My mom was on board. Oh, never mind. That was whatever. Reverse. My mom was on board. My dad was reluctant. I thought that was him, but I was like, wait a second. That was probably the mom.
Okay.
Please don't feel the need to indulge me. As your guest, I will be grateful whatever you have to offer. Claire surprised me with her gracious words. Oh, my. What a modest and humble aristocrat. Please, you are more than welcome to request some indulgences. My mother said! This is so hilarious!
She's something else.
My mother said, looking even more smitten with Claire than before. But we don't have a room, my father pointed out. I can stay in the same room as Ray, Claire said. But where would you sleep? My father asked. We can bring in the cot from the main house. Miss Claire can use Ray's... Oh, we can bring in the cot from the main house. Miss Claire can use Ray's bed, and Ray can sleep on the cot, my mother proclaimed. Or we can sleep in the same bed. Oh, my. Do you two have that sort of relationship? Yes. No, we do not. I mean, if we must sleep in the same bed, that's fine, but... What's going on with Claire? She was being unusually meek and mild. I'll bring the cot. Yes, please. And let's close the store for the day. Oh, and make sure you work up an appetite for dinner. My parents were... Oh, my God. I'm not Claire. Ray's mom is just... Yeah, apparently she's worse. Yeah, I would say so. My parents were not prepared for Claire's stay, or so I thought until... Darling, how could you act like that after Ray finally brought home a sweetheart for us to meet?
A sweetheart?
Honey, have you lost your mind? That's the daughter of the Francois family.
I'm trying to fix Haruka.
Haruka didn't want to know either.
She's turning around. She's like, I can't.
She can't handle it either.
I'm turning her the wrong way.
She's broken too.
She's okay.
She's broken as well.
Alright, we got her. There you go.
Their conversation sat in the back room was entirely audible to us, but I pretended not to hear. Claire had a complicated look on her face. To escape the awkwardness, I showed her my room, carrying the bags with her clothes and other items we headed up the stairs. My bedroom was even smaller than the dorm rooms at school. It was simple, about 10 feet wide, wow. It had a bed, desk, and one dresser. As a commoner, even having my own room meant I had it better than most. It would have been different if I had any siblings. I put the bag on the floor and let it aside. So this is your room, Ray. It's pretty bare, huh? Well, yes, but there's something comforting about it. Aw, Claire. I sat on the bed and looked around. I took a chair from the desk and sat down. Your parents are interesting. I get that a lot.
Interesting.
Especially your mother. I see where you get it from.
Oh.
I get that a lot. I said. My father was reserved, but he had plenty of common sense. While my mother couldn't really have any. Not to mention the thing about the clothes. Honestly, though, the strangest thing about my mother was everyone liked her, despite her oddities. Are you sure you're okay with staying here? There's an inn nearby, you know. This is fine, but I looked at her quizzically. We're imposing on your family. Well, yes. I said honestly, the peasant life wasn't easy. Guests showed up unnoticed, let alone a daughter of an aristocrat meant everyone had to hop to it. Still, my mom's sure to whip up a feast tonight. She will. Just relax, Miss Claire. I'll unpack our bags. I brought Claire here so she'd get away from the mansion. If she were to spend her reprieve worrying, that defeated the purpose. Yes, I'll do that. Claire said as she laid on the bed. If she were exhausted, she was soon breathing deeply. Does that mean you're starting to trust me? I thought to myself. My spirit soared at the sight of Claire's defensiveness. Sleeping face in my bed, I joyfully started unpacking. Now then, I don't know who this is, so whoa. Now then, celebration of Miss Claire visiting our home. Cheers! Thank you so very much. We raised our glasses filled with fruit juice and began our evening meal. Our dinner table was small, but it was laden with fresh baked bread, herb-seasoned griddled chicken, oh my gosh, meatballs. Meatballs, not the other way I say it because of my accent. Vegetable soup, raised all of a sudden Bostonian.
Yeah,
and
right.
fruit chilled in the river. My mom was a pretty good cook. It wasn't
I
that.
feel like if anyone in this were gonna have a Bostonian accent, I could see Ray having one.
I know, right? She should have one, right? It wasn't the kind of cuisine that Claire was used to, but for a peasant, it was a feast. Miss Claire, please eat as much as you like. My mother, bursting with joy at the opportunity to entertain such a cute girl, encouraged Claire to partake. Yes, Claire responded. No pressure. If you don't like something, you don't need to eat it, my father advised. Oh, no, I would love to, Claire said. She extended her fork to the herb-grilled chicken and daintily lifted a piece to her mouth. It's delicious. Her smile was perfect, but I knew it was fake. Peasant food was hard for an aristocrat like Claire's stomach. Completely oblivious to my mother, continued to recommend each of the dishes. Please, you must try this soup. We made a proper consommé today. I guess that's how you say that. Thank you very much. Claire kept her perfect smile painted on her face as she took a spoonful of soup and then praised it. My mom looked overjoyed to see an aristocrat enjoying her cooking, but... Oh, my, you've barely touched your plate, she exclaimed. Though Claire claimed everything was delicious, she wasn't really eating that much. Perhaps it's not to her taste after all? No, Mom, Miss Claire always eats small portions. Miss Claire, would you like some fruit? It's freshly picked and tastes really good.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, please. Thank you, Ray. Claire said. She was smiling, but I was certain she was having a lot more trouble than she was letting on. Somehow, we got through the rest of the meal. I told my parents all about the academy over some after-dinner tea, starting with the time Claire and I went to the haunted house at the school festival. Miss Claire was so frightened. I was not, Claire denied. My. So Miss Claire's afraid of ghosts. My mother laughed as she found the story heartwarming. In that case, you should probably stay away from the beach, my father said.
Oh, is this important?
Why? I have been looking forward to swimming in the ocean. It seems the undead have been spotted along the coast lately. It's been a real problem for the fishermen. According to my parents, the undead have been haunting the coast for about a week now. There weren't many, and the neighborhood watch were currently keeping them at bay. But it was starting to get out of hand. On hearing the story, Claire declared, in that case, we'll destroy them. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I was like, the girl team's gonna take them on.
Well, but it's so dangerous, and besides, I thought you were afraid of ghosts, Miss Claire. The undead monsters, not ghosts. We can go to the coast first thing tomorrow, right, Ray? My, me. Let's take our bathing suits, too. We can start swimming lessons. Shh. Claire interrupted me, flustered. Oh, my. Miss Claire, do you have trouble swimming? No, of course not. I'm able to swim. I simply wish to improve, that's all. Why, that's wonderful, Ray. Grew up by the water, so she should be able to give you some pointers, Ray. Make sure you teach her well. Yes, it seems like Claire wanted my mom to like her, but maybe I was imagining it. It's getting late, Miss Claire. You should rest. My father said.
Ray. Read the room.
She's very bad at that.
Right.
Looking at the wall clock. My. Time flies when you're having fun. Her mom, though. Yes. I'll have a bath and go to bed. We're gonna get a picture.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Miss Claire. We don't have a bath here. Peasants didn't bathe daily. We wiped our bodies with wet cloths and went to the bathhouse once every few weeks. Oh, I see. I understand. I brought soap, so I'll wipe you down in the bathroom. Such was the awkward atmosphere in which we ended up in Claire's welcoming party. Claire looked thoughtfully. I really am fortunate, she said quietly, almost to herself, as I gave her a sponge bath in my bedroom. You didn't like the food, did you? I'm so sorry, Ray. I didn't realize it would be this different. Peasant food had a fair, weaker flavor. It would have tasted especially bland to Claire, who was accustomed to the ample use of spices and abundant condiments in aristocratic food. It's not just the food, Claire continued, not taking a bath. There was a bath at the academy, so she never had to confront her privilege in that matter. She seemed to be wrestling with the realization that things she took for granted in her daily life were actually luxuries. Well, peasants don't live like aristocrats, I said, wiping Claire down. I knew that, but I didn't understand it. The commoner movement, yes?
I see. Okay. Are you choosing not to show that picture?
Do you want to?
I don't know.
I don't think it's bad. She's just bathing her.
Yeah. Yep.
She's just bathing her.
I just noticed you showed me and not the camera.
I show you first usually because you can see pictures.
Gotcha.
I thought their demands were silly, but if our standards of living really are this different, then I understand why people might resent aristocrats.
Oh, look
Claire
at
said,
Claire
her eyes
coming
downcast.
around.
This wouldn't do. I wanted to distract Claire from her troubles, not make them worse. I put the wet towel on the water basin and started to help Claire into her pajamas. Miss Claire, you are a powerful aristocrat, right? Yes, I am. In that case, why don't you change the world? Change the world? Change the world in a way that makes the lives of peasants even more easier. That shouldn't be an impossible task for you, Miss Claire. But Claire's eye lit up with understanding and then dimmed as she realized it wouldn't be so simple a task. It wouldn't be that easy, of course, I said, and I don't believe it's something you're obliged to do or obligated to. But if it's something you want to do, something I want to do, yes, if it's your wish, then I'll do everything in my power to help you, I said, buttoning the front of her pajamas.
They're so cute.
Claire was speechless. She looked both happy and nervous. You're really brazen for a commoner.
Yeah.
What do you expect from your maid? The fact that she was insulting me meant she was feeling better. Now let's sleep. We'll go to the sea tomorrow, I said, turning off the light. Yes, that's right. But Claire made no move to get into the bed.
Are we gonna have a cute, like, moment at the beach?
Maybe. What's wrong?
I'm hoping so.
This bed is pretty big, isn't it? She said, but it wasn't. Even the bunk beds in the school dormitories are bigger. Is it? It is so. Claire's having a moment. You can sleep here with me. There won't be much room, though. It's fine. Claire grabbed my arm and shoved me on the bed, then laid down. Good night. Good night, Miss Claire. Could this be? Claire showing affection for me? I didn't want to get my hopes up and start imagining things. No use overthinking it.
Ray.
I decided to get some sleep, switching my thoughts over to the sight of Claire in a swimsuit tomorrow. Okay, Miss Claire. First put your face in the water. You better not let go, you hear me? Claire's I hope she doesn't, because you're not going to like it if she does.
No.
Claire's expression was pathetic, and her words just childish. We're at the beach near my house. The sand was pure white, and the water was emerald green as far as the eye could see. Not a sight you could easily find in 21st century Japan. We were in the middle of Claire's first swimming lesson. I started by assessing her level of discomfort. She couldn't even put her face in the water. On my instruction, Claire screwed up her courage at best, and if prepared to jump off a building, then finally touched her face to the water. She lifted her head in the water. How was that? I did it. I put my face in the water. Yes, you did. Now let's try and put it in for 10 seconds. What? You're going to make me do such advanced moves on my first day? That's not advanced. I was starting to realize she wasn't going to be swimming today.
That's so funny.
We were both in our swimming suits. Claire looked like a supermodel in her bright red bikini
Gonna be a cute moment.
white wrap. This was theoretically supposedly to resemble medieval Europe. So the presence of such modern swimsuits was a clear giveaway that it had been developed by Japanese people in the 21st century. The game developers probably would have been swamped by player complaints that the character had shown up historically in accurate swimwear. Actually, Revolution had been designed for a female audience, so more design work had to be put into the male swimsuit than the female ones. Of course, there were no boys here, making that irrelevant. Let's try for 10 seconds. Fine. I, Claire Francois, have mastered countless skills before, and I shall do so again. Claire talked herself up as she went to her tragic but brave preparation again.
Determined.
Before finally putting her face in the water. How many seconds was that? 5. This is hard. I never imagined humans were capable of such things. Most people can do it, you know. I never imagined Claire would have had this much trouble with water. I wonder if it was best because her tribute was fire. That's what I was wondering too, because she's a fire girl, right?
Oh, yeah.
I wish to take a break. What? All you've done is put your face in the water twice. And that was plenty. If I'm already able to put my face in the water for 5 seconds, soon enough I'll be able to swim. You will not. Let's see here. Ray, Miss Claire, I brought you lunch. We looked up to see my mom waving at us with one hand, holding a basket in the other. Her swimsuit. Oh boy, are we gonna get some mom shenanigans? She was wearing a black one-piece suit. It had 2 white stripes on the side. The other words, it was typically a school-issued swimsuit. A woman in her late 30s wearing a school-issued swimsuit. Worst of all, she was rocking it. Perfect timing. We were just about to take a break, Claire had said as she wiped herself dry with a towel I handed her. Oh, I see. How many meters did you make it to? You're so talented, Miss Claire. I'm sure you could swim 100 meters with ease.
So talented.
My mother said with an innocent smile. She meant well, and she wasn't doing it on purpose. Oh, well, just about. Liar. I thought so. Oh, here's your lunch. I tried making some sandwiches. My mother said, taking cloth out of the basket to show us sandwiches in a thermos. Thank you very much, Claire said sweetly, but her expression was stiff. It's okay, Miss Claire, I whispered in her ear. She looked back questioningly. Let's see here. The sandwiches have things I suggested, like mayonnaise and mustard. Mayonnaise wasn't that hard to make, and even commoners had access to the ingredients. Yes, I followed Ray's instructions. Please try it, my mom said, holding a sandwich out to Claire. Claire looked concerned, her hesitantly, but took a bite. It's delicious. Well, that's a relief. The mayonnaise thing really is delicious. My mother marveled. Ray, is it popular in the capital? Yeah, it was first introduced by a restaurant called the Gourmet. Apparently, all the aristocrats are eating it. Is that right? You must be taking Ray to some fancy places, Miss Claire. Yep, I said. I wasn't about to tell them I was the one who introduced mayonnaise to this world. Really? Claire said. Anyway, Miss Claire, you're just lovely today. Is that swimsuit also fashioned in the capital? I had a tailor just for me. The fabric wrapped around my waist is called a... What is this, fashion girl?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Appareo, and they've
Sure.
been quite popular this year. Oh, how wonderful. Mom, settle down. We don't need you to activating your bad habits right now. Claire snapped to attention and moved back for my mother. I know that, Ray. You're such a bully, and while we're at it, your swimsuit is, Mom, don't sigh like that. Embarrassingly, my swimsuit had been issued by the school.
Oh.
You're right about the swimsuit, Claire said. But more to the point, your mother's figure is so unlike yours. Don't say that, my mother chided. She's still young. I don't know if it's because I was the main character in the game aimed at young women, but my figure was profoundly average. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was fit enough and slender, but I looked utterly plain compared to Claire's more mature figure and my mom's voluptuous curves. I'm still growing. I'll get bigger, I said. Give it all you've got, said my mom. Don't give me that pitying look. Hey, wait a minute. Something was happening when I goofed off around. Clouds sailed over the sun, and a chill filled the air. Before we knew it, we were surrounded by swirling fog coming off the sea.
Frog? I was like, there's swirling frogs.
Listen, I didn't
That
think it happened in
sounded
this.
really scary. But a swirling fog is scary too, probably.
Swirling frogs.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing. I was like, what is happening?
Ray,
Okay,
look!
fog.
Claire screeched. She was pointing at a silhouette of a tattered ship looming over the fog. Is that a ghost ship? My mom asked in surprise. I was wondering the same thing. The ghost ship's appearance threw the entire town in an uproar. The local lord proclaimed a state of emergency and would have sent runners to request military aid, but we're trapped. Claire complained that she was right. The fog blanketed the outskirts of town has all penned in. This fog is magical in nature, Misha said calmly, analyzing the situation. She, along with everyone in town, had the ability to fight, had come to the courtyard of the local lord's mansion in order to discuss what could and couldn't be done. We need someone to step up and take charge. How about you, Miss Claire? There has to be someone more qualified than my age, an experienced self, and he isn't about to let me tell him what to do. Claire pointed at the person emerging from the mansion. Everyone, thank you for gathering here. Let me begin by expressing my gratitude. Oh, fug me, it's Dole Whip. Everyone, thank you for gathering around here. Let me express my attitude. Dole's
Gratitude.
gratitude.
Let me express my attitude.
My attitude.
I mean, probably that more so
Dole
than
Whip's
the
voice
first.
dripped with condescendence. But
Condescendence? Oh
but he
my
also sounds
gosh.
supremely confident. I am Dole Francois, or I am Dole Whip Francois,
Oh, no.
Minister of Finance of Burr Kingdom. Due to the extraordinary circumstances, the local lords requested I take command. I assume no one's had objections. I object. I object. So probably, yeah.
Say wait,
His
Dole Whip.
arrogance was welcome sound, calming even, so the townspeople who were beside themselves with anxiety over a sudden appearance of a ghost ship.
Oh.
We have nothing to fear from a few undead. We have only to destroy them, Dolp declared. But can we really defeat monsters that conjure such fog to imprison us? Someone asked uneasily. Everyone gathered. The hero was capable of combat, yet none shared Dole's confidence. The ordinary citizens of Lucid had been more spooked. Let's see. You are right to be concerned, but do not worry. We have more than enough firepower at hand. Claire, Ray, Misha, come up here. Do you have any magic?
We have plenty of firepower. Come on,
Firepower.
girls.
Yeah, I know, right? Caught off guard, we couldn't hide our confusion, but did as we were told. These girls are the star students of the Royal Academy.
The star
They
student.
outshine their peers when it comes to wielding magic. The crowd buzzed at Dole Whip's words. To them, we look like nothing but young girls. Allow me to introduce you to them. First is the Misha Yor. She has high aptitude and wind attributes. In mock battle at the Academy, she used her impressive skills to drive Prince Rod to a corner. Despite being suddenly put on the spot in front of the crowd, Misha bowed, keeping her cool. Next is Ray
Misha.
Taylor.
Oh.
She is an earth and water dual caster. Furthermore, both her attributes are ultra-high aptitude. She is one of the Academy's most powerful mages. I suspect he had the ulterior motives for heaping such praise on me, but I couldn't read the room. Yay, she meant she can't read the room! So I bowed smoothly. Finally, this is my daughter, Claire Francois.
Yeah.
Rather than explain Claire's capabilities, it might be better just to have her show you. Claire's a 10th should do. Understood. Everyone's eyes were on Claire, waiting with bated breath. She slowly raised both arms. 4 Francois family crests appeared above her head. Light! 4 heat rays burst from the crest of Claire's command and zeroed in on a large decorative boulder in the corner of the yard. Look, it turned to dust! Amazing. With power like that, the ghost ship could be smashed to kindling. He said that's only a 10th of her power. We're saved. This was Claire's specialty, Magic Ray. It wasn't versatile, but in terms of raw power, it put her up there among the world's foremost mages. Calling it only a 10th of her ability was a pretty big bluff, though. I was pretty sure Claire had put everything she had in those beams just now. She and Dole Whip were certainly doing this to assure everyone's fears, as they'd work in unison with no prior discussion, too. They were on the same wavelength. You see, you have no reason to fear. We will restore peace to this town with our hands, Dole Whip's words were greeted with loud cheers. Playing like a crowd was second nature to a politician like him. Now, the Adventurers Guild will be in charge of strategy. Everyone do as they say. With that, Dole Whip went back inside his mansion.
He's like, alright, bye.
Yeah, like,
All
what
I
did
did
you-
was announce that these girls
He
are
announced
here.
that he like tried to make people feel at ease, but honestly, like then he just kind of leaves.
Okay.
As one would expect of Master Dole, commented Misha.
Hmm.
He really is a politician through and through, I added. My father only cares about making himself look good. That, Claire said, but she looked happy nonetheless, though her relationship was fraught. Claire respected Dole Whip. Aren't you happy, Claire? About what, Ray? Claire looked at me vacantly. At this rate, everyone's going to be looking at you to save them. I thought you were afraid of ghosts. Oh. It seemed Claire forgot. I'm just fine. And undead are not ghosts. You don't have to pretend with there's the two of us. If everyone sees you grow flustered when we're actually in combat, it'll affect their morale. I pressed Claire. That's right, Misha nodded in agreement. What should I do? Maybe we should work on our own way from the others? In that case, we should notify the guild right away before they devise a strategy that includes us. And so I went to talk to the head of the Adventurers Guild. In a fortunate turn of events, it turned out to be Louis, who chuckled when he heard what we came to say.
Louis.
Yeah. You have an unexpected weakness, he said. Can we make this work or not? To be honest, three of you are in a league of your own when it comes to your combat abilities. Even if I teamed you up with the rest of these guys, I'd have a hard time keeping up. I was actually hoping you might go off on your own.
I picture him as this guy who like rolls up his sleeves like, alright, let's get this handled.
Right? I was actually hoping... Adventurers were free-spirited sort who had little regard for status or social niceties. Louis spoke casually, even when addressing Claire.
Yeah, that.
Claire understood this, of course, and she didn't raise an eyebrow at his lack of formality. Based on my experience, he continued, I'm guessing the ghost ship answered to something bigger. How about we clean up the riffraff and you three go after the big boss? That sounds like the only solution. But... Louis started again a bit apprehensively. Do you think you could help us a bit to start? If you could use that spell again, even just the first charge, it would sure boost these guys' morale. Just a first, right? Yeah, can you? We can come up with something else if not. No, it's fine, I'll do it. Great. And you can leave the rest to us, Louis said as he returned to talking strategy with the rest of the guild. We're with you, I told Claire. I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll support you, Misha agreed. Yes, please. Claire had a dark look on her face. She somehow managed to even look cuter. The fighting force we'd mustered, which was number 30 people in total, split up into smaller boats and rowed towards the ghost ship. We had yet encountered any foes, but we were on high alert as we came dangerously close to the ship. Just as I thought, they're coming! An adventurer in the first boat called out. I strained my eyes to pierce the fog and saw a bird-like monster flying towards us. The looked to be about 10. Miss Claire, you're up! Louis called out. Understood, she responded. Since the monsters were still far away, we couldn't make them out clearly. Perhaps that helped because Claire didn't seem all that scared. Lights! The heat rays struck the flock of birds, incinerating most of them. That didn't get all of them. Louis clicked his tongue. Leave it to me, Misha said. A high-pitched sound cut through the air and the rest of the bird monsters fell.
Wow.
That many monsters in a single instant. We can do this! Our overwhelming victory in the first skirmish raised everyone's spirits. Louis gave us a thumbs up to show his appreciation. We fought a few more monsters on the way to the ghost ship. We made it through without a single casualty.
He's like, good job.
Yeah, good job, everyone. Here comes the real battle, Louis said, confirming that the entire team had boarded the ghost ship. Just as we discussed, groups A and E clear the way. The girls and I will take the captain's cabin. So funny, like, you just like the Rod voice that much.
Yeah.
Everyone gets the Rod voice. One of these days, everyone will get the Rod voice.
Oh.
Miss Claire will get the Rod voice. Somehow, and I'll be like, Miss Claire. Yeah, Ray will be like, Miss Claire! What is it, Ray?
I can't.
The other guys rapidly dispersed to take up their positions in accordance with Louis' command. I guess I can't really give Minardi the Rod voice. She might be upset, though.
I don't know. Let me think about what. She has like a more velvety voice.
More velvety voice. Hey, Claire. He was an experienced adventurer, a good leader, and by his ability to give precise, efficient orders. We barely set foot on the upper deck when we were confronted by 10 undead in the form of shabbling skeletons. Don't hold back, Louis ordered. We have the advantage in numbers. Surround them and take them down. And so the battle to take the ship began.
Okay. Okay.
It took us 2 hours to fight our way through the hello, voice crack,
Oh.
cabin, and everyone was exhausted by the time we got there. Actually, I haven't been drinking any water. I'm so bad, bro.
Uh-oh, you're so bad. You need to be punished by Miss Claire.
Well, I mean, everyone was exhausted by the time we got there. Louis was keeping me, Misha, and Claire back as trump cards, directing us to conserve our offensive magic and protect the rest of the team instead. The undead were weak, but there were a lot of them, and the team was tiring. Many of the men were wounded and fled. Commander, it's the captain's cabin! Their face lit up, however, when they heard those words from the adventurers scouting ahead. Okay, Louis said, the 4 of us will go in. The rest of you secure the perimeter and keep the monsters off us. Roger that. With Louis leading the way, Claire, Misha, and I ducked into the cabin's quarters. Wait a second. The room was empty. I've been expecting to face some kind of mini-boss, and anticlimax left me deflated. Maybe we're in the wrong room? Claire suggested. No, this is the right one. Louis was adamant. He pulled out a magic scroll, and I'll set up a barrier. But there's nothing here, Misha said, looking around the room.
Misha.
Not yet. I need to summon the boss first. The moment I heard that, I jumped in front of Claire. Misha armed herself with her wand and took up the combat stance. It's you. You girls so sweet. Trusting everything I say just because I'm an adventurer.
Oh.
I was wondering. I'm like, are we going to get a betrayal? Louis chuckled as he walked back to the room. Louis, this is you? You're the enemy? Claire guessed. Enemy? Yes, I suppose I'm an enemy, Louis said, holding out his left hand. On his finger was a ring I recognized. The magical tool to raise the dead! I swore. You know what this is? I suppose you understand what's happening here, then. There are no corpses for you to raise, Misha pointed. I'm about to make one. Louis pointed a perfume bottle from his inside pocket. It was filled with transparent liquid.
Awful.
With the newest blend of Cantarella. What? You're a Nora Empire assassin? Yes, I am. Please forgive me, Louis said, actually sounding generally apologetic. A bit arrogant to share that with us, isn't it? Maybe. But we all have our debts to pay. He really did sound like he regretted this, however. The ghost ship, I said, it's yours for now. Let's say I'm borrowing it from some aristocrats. In other words, we weren't Louis' first victims. He had passed the point of forgiveness. Now that we know you have the poison, we'll respond appropriately, I said. Are you saying you know the antidote? Louis then laughed. I told you, this is the newest kind of Cantarella. Magic doesn't work on anyone it infects, which means your detoxifying magic is useless too. Then we just need to avoid being poisoned, Claire replied aggressively. Louis didn't stop. He started laughing. No one said I was going to use this on you. What? Claire said, surprised, genuine. Louis opened the lid of the Cantarella and emptied the bottle in one gulp. Suicide? Misha said as the grasp what was happening. No, he's turning himself into undead. What? Cure him with your magic! No, the Cantarella's already working! Monster. Louis' skin stretched and tore as he writhed on the floor, exposing reddish-black muscles, which began to swell. His young man's body bulged, wrapped and expanded until he was massive like an ogre. Let's run, Claire said. You can't, Louis said in a voice that was decidedly not human. The magic scroll he used, the barrier had been meant to trap us. Now be good little girls, and let me kill you. No, thank you, Claire. Claire launched Fire Spear. It struck Louis directly. It had no effect. I see. The poison nullifies all magic, not just detoxifying magic, Misha said with analytic calm. So the reason you had us hold back was to wear us all down when we can't fight you physically, I demanded. Now you're starting to get it. Brute strength was not of our forte. Without our magic, we were at a severe disadvantage, and there was no one left to rescue us. The look on Misha and Claire's face matched my thoughts. This was bad. What are the people doing outside? Claire demanded. There's some monsters out there, and maybe they can't come through this barrier, Misha answered, still calm. Give up. If you don't resist, I'll give you an easy death. Louis stood, drawing a massive bastard sword. Oh, he's got a sword too. That's pretty large. Okay. I have an idea, I said to Claire and Misha. Miss Claire, please use some low-level key spells to hold him back a bit. Even if it doesn't hurt him, enough force might knock him back. Understood. It seems she trusted me enough not to ask for more. Claire switched from shooting the fire spears, raining down fire bombs, filling the cabin with some sort of explosion. Misha, please use your magic to scan the rest of the ship for enemies. Do you think we're about to be ambushed? A rare hint of despair showed on Misha's face. Nope. I want you to search the entire ship other than this room. Find me a spot with very few foes. Why? I don't have time to explain. Trust me. Okay. Claire and I will buy time, I said, conjuring some water bombs through at Louis.
Ray's in charge now.
Your attacks are futile, he said. You think I'm going to give this up? Claire narrowed, dodging the tip of Louis' blade, catching his ankle with her foot. She passed him. He fell, clearly still unused to his newly swollen, cumbersome, undead form. Miss Claire, be careful! Claire was certainly the most capable of terms of physical combat, but she still wasn't able to keep up with Louis. But if we don't win this now, he's just going to wear us down. It's going to be okay. I know how to get us out of this. I can trust you, right? Of course. As I nodded to Claire, we rained down a storm of mingled fire and water bombs on Louis. I finished my search. The room with the fewest monsters is the third one from the stern. Thanks, Misha. She was fast. Now how Claire hold him back? I need to do something. Buy me time. Okay, this is it. My body's for Miss Claire! I started chanting somberly. My blood is for Miss Claire! Oh.
Wow.
Every beat of my glass heart is for Miss Claire. Miss Claire! Miss Claire! What in the world are you doing? Miss Claire, please concentrate. What are you playing? What are you playing at? Louis said inquisitively, plodding forward to Misha and Claire's attacks. I had no intention of answering him. The spell I was chanting sounded strange to others, but I concentrated on only what I needed to do. A loud rumble rose somewhere far away. The ship swayed violently. What is that? Miss Claire, don't stop! But the more hesitation had been enough. Louis closed in on Claire and swung his sword at her. Without thinking, I stopped chanting, hit him with a water bomb. Miss Claire! I was too late. But she didn't need my help. Something repelled the sword, turned its tips aside. Claire seized that chance to regroup and resume her bearing of fire bombs, driving Louis back more to give herself some space. I was so anxious I thought my heart might stop, but I went back to work. The sound grew louder, swaying more violently, and the door burst off its hinges. A torrent of seawater surged in, carrying with it a flood of water. Misha! Miss Claire! Use your magic to stab Louis with those swords! There was no reply, but they both worked fast, instantly switching from the bombs of repulsion. Claire's explosions and Misha used wind to drive the swords carried by the water to Louis. I joined them. Unlimited Claire works! Louis desperately tried to ward off the swords, but there were too many. He collapsed on the ground, run through form side, as we watched his tattered body begin to shrink back to human size. I lost? There was no sadness in his voice, just pure disbelief. But how? I have no obligation to answer. I want to get out of here immediately. I want to know too. What happened? Claire said. Me too. I gave in. This room was sealed off by a barrier, but it wasn't being cast by anyone. It came from a scroll, which meant it could only last so long. That's why I had us use rain down barrage and magic bombs under the pretense of holding off Louis. In actuality, we had worn down the barrier. Misha and I had to scout for free spots of enemies because that's where the swords would be. Are these silver weapons? Misha demanded. Yes, silver was extremely effective against the undead. The creature on the ship had unconsciously given to a wide berth, which is why I had to scan for a place to free them. How did you know that these swords were on the ship? Remember what we heard in town? A ship full of aristocrats who came here from the undead sending went missing. And Louis said himself, who he had borrowed the ship from. I just manipulated the seawater with my water magic to bring the silver weapons here, I finished. I see. Louis smiled as if he had been freed from something. I'm in no position to make demands. But I have a favor to ask of you. I refuse. Let's go, Miss Claire and Misha. We will listen to your request. Speak, Miss Claire. He tried to kill the person he loves. He must have his reasons. Claire can be so kind and so rarely when I expected it. What happened to Claire the villainess? Thank you. Louis said, please. I only ask that you take care of my mother. She's sick. Did the Empire use that against you? Claire asked. Why didn't you pay for her treatment by honorable means? I spent all our savings to take her to a doctor in the capital, Louis said. He said she had a growth in her stomach. The magic potion she needed to save her cost even more than a doctor's fee. Claire looked at a loss for words. Even if I took on nothing but dangerous, high-paying requests, it would take me years of adventuring to earn enough. She didn't have that time. I swallowed my pride and begged everyone I knew for help. But even with their donations, I only had half of what I needed for the potion. With every word, blood had flowed from his lips. Claire couldn't look away. Are you satisfied? I asked her. You said we would listen, and we did. Now let's go. The ship is going to sink. But Miss Claire Ray is right. We need to go, Misha said in a calm voice. Claire flinched from Misha's calm voice. Very well. She turned to Louis. I, Claire House of Francois, swear that I will take care of your mother. Now please rest. Thank you. I wonder if they'll forgive my debt. Those were Louis' last words, and the last broad voice for now. We escaped the captain's cabin and left the sinking ghost ship with the rest of the adventurers who were waiting outside. The entire time, Claire didn't say a single word. Several days after our battle on the ghost ship, Claire and I visited Louis' home. The reason, of course, was Claire had requested to. Why, Ray, it's been a while. Louis' mother, Ophelia, greeted us with a gentle smile. I apologize for not getting up. I'm not feeling terribly well. It's nothing serious, but... She broke into a coughing fit. But it wasn't me who rushed over to her. It was Claire. Please don't worry yourself, Claire said. You should rest. My, who is this young lady? Is she your friend, right? Oh, no. I am, ma'am. My name is Claire, and I'm Louis' friend, too, Claire said to Ophelia with a smile kinder than she'd ever given me. I was almost jealous. Oh, Louis, too? I haven't seen his face since the last time he brought me my medicine. How is he doing? Claire froze those words. Louis has passed away, she said. No. Please say it's not true. Ophelia's face didn't change at first, as she couldn't comprehend what she just heard. But Claire's somber expression seemed to drive the words home. Why? How did he? Louis, Claire started, but seemed to think better of it and stopped. She tilted her head. Louis died trying to take down the ghost ship that was threatening the town. He died protecting his friends. That was the official version of events that we were going with. I'd been dead set against it, but Claire had simply insisted. Louis was very brave. If it weren't for him, this town would have suffered a great loss, Claire said, taking Ophelia's hands. He's the hero who saved this town. Ophelia was speechless for some time after hearing Claire's words. Eventually she found her voice again. I see. Every little thing made him cry when he was little. I never thought he would grow up to do such a thing. A smile crept on her face. Perhaps it was partly prompted by her pride in her son, but the main reason for her smile was, still, I wish he'd stayed a crying child, if it meant he would have come back home. With nothing left, Ophelia wept. Poverty really is a terrible thing, Claire said abruptly. We were back in my room preparing for bed. Miss Claire. I had no idea what it really meant to be poor, Claire said with a brooding expression. This didn't seem to be the time to tease her. Good job, Ray. Don't tease her right now. So I said, well, when's the next break?
Yeah. Oh, you're almost. Oh my gosh, you're almost to the end of the chapter.
Oh, okay.
You can
Yes.
finish the chapter.
We get to finish a second. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. I had no idea what it really. Oh, this didn't seem to be the time to tease her. So I sat down next to her. It's not just having less money, is it? It means you must be forced to do terrible things to save someone important to you. Not always, but it's true that the poor have fewer options than the more fortunate. I tried to be gentle, giving her space to organize her thoughts. What Louis did was unforgivable, she said. But denouncing him misses the point. The point? I could tell Claire was trying to articulate something. Poverty is evil, and our politicians are neglecting these citizens who live in these wicked conditions. In other words, the flaws lie in the system itself. That might be a bit extreme. Interesting how Ray's saying that might be a bit extreme.
Wow. What did she say, Claire?
Claire said poverty is evil, and our politicians are neglecting those citizens who live in this wicked condition.
After that,
In other words, the flaw lies in the system itself.
the flaw lies in the system itself. Interesting.
That might be a bit extreme. I tried to reel in Claire a bit. Her language was beginning to make me anxious. You're right. Poverty is terrible, and I can't say the government of this country isn't responsible for its current state of things.
Oof.
But the politics isn't solely a matter of beautiful ideas. You know that better than anyone, don't you? Of course I do, but... When I prompted her to continue, she thought for a moment and then said, isn't it just running away from the ideal, using a difficulty of reality as an excuse? What's wrong with aim for something good? I resolved to protect this precious person forever. I think you should do what you believe in. Like I told you before, I'll support you whenever way you want me to, I said, taking Claire's hand. Ray. Miss Claire, I respect your noble heart. I will protect your aspirations to not run from reality. Please make use of me. I would do anything for Claire, even betray her if I had to.
Oh, that's foreshadowing AF.
I mean, you already made her really upset with the Minotti situation, so anything's possible, right? Minotti would not like that, though.
That seems very foreshadowing.
It does. I hope it would never come to that, but if necessary, I wouldn't hesitate.
Yeah, they wouldn't say that if it weren't on its way.
Thank you, Ray, Claire said with a smile, but I couldn't look her in the eye. Do you remember when Louis almost cut you with his sword? I changed the subject to distract her. I was talking about the near end of the battle when Claire had been distracted by the sound of flowing water I created. Yes, I was careless. But Louis' sword didn't make it to you. How did you block it? I'm not sure, but I think it's for this reason, Claire said, fingering an object on her chest. Oh, that. Yes, it's the amulet you gave me at the Academy Festival. I had forgotten all about it.
The amulet.
It's cracked.
Oh.
Perhaps it was a sacrifice charm. In other words, Claire supposed the amulet was a kind of magical item that could protect the wearer from danger if only once. To think it had such an effect. Of course, I'm only speculating, but I can't think of what else might have done it. Claire laughed nervously then and carefully returned the amulet to where it hung on her clothes. But then it was false advertising to call it a good luck charm. Although I suppose it did save you in the end. Oh, yes, that's right. Claire's reaction to my words was strange for a moment. Miss Claire, it's nothing. Come now. It's far past time to sleep. Good night, Claire said, jumping right into bed alone.
Claire?
That's what Ray just said. What's going on with her?
Yeah.
Miss Claire? Are you hiding something? I'm hiding nothing, and it's nothing. And why must you be so dense of all things? Ooh. Claire was babbling, trying to shut me up, and I gave up and got into bed with her. Changing how the story of this game was scripted was proving to be difficult. I tried to alter the course of events in the Sending episode, and it come back to bite me this way instead. If I really wanted to change things from now on, I would have to get to the root of the event. Superficial alterations only threw things in disarray, and it made it harder for me to use my knowledge of the game. I'd have to be more careful from here. By the way, Miss Claire, what is it? Are you romantically content? Go to sleep!
Romantically content.
She turned out the light, keeping me from being able to see clearly, but I thought her cheeks looked just a little bit red.
Oh.
The next chapter's your secret!
Use secret.
Woo! Wow, we're actually pretty far along. Like, obviously, there's a lot more to go, but
I
yeah,
mean, it's a large book.
it's a large
but,
book. Hey, we got through
we've
another chapter in like
gotten
not as
pretty
much.
far.
It wasn't as much time as the first chapter. The first chapter was so long of this book.
Right.
So,
So,
Ray's mom. Oh my gosh.
she's something else.
She is a great.
She's
Her
something
shenanigans.
else, right?
All of a sudden, your coat is gone, Miss Claire.
She's like, what? She just takes it. Oh my goodness. But she made her the sandwiches.
She did make her sandwiches, and I feel like she's a supportive mom. She just
Yeah.
has some interesting hobbies.
Yeah,
Traits.
I was gonna say quirks.
Quirks.
She has some quirks to her
Yeah,
for sure.
I wonder if we're gonna like. Obviously, next chapter's gonna be Use Secret, so I wonder if we're gonna see any more of Ray's mom. I appreciated her. She was wonderful.
I found it really interesting how Ray explains like about their swimsuits.
Yeah.
That the developers of the game put more effort into the male swimsuits than the female
Yeah, because
swimsuits.
Otome game, right? So that makes sense for people that play Otome games. They want to romance the males. For Ray, it's like, yeah, I don't do that.
Well,
so.
I'm just saying it's interesting that she points it out.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's
Yeah.
also they also
And how
yeah.
her playing the game is so different from its intended purpose.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And then also you have the fact that apparently Claire was supposed to wear something more modest than she was, but the developers are like, nah, we can't be doing that. We can't be doing that.
Oh, based on the time period
Yeah.
that the game
Yeah.
is set in.
Yeah. I think too because of I was wondering as well because of the attributes that they have, all these different elements.
Mhm.
With her not being able to swim, I'm like it could be related to her fire attribute because obviously fire's weakness is water,
Yeah.
so she might just be like want to swim, but she's
Yeah.
like oh I can't, right?
Yeah.
Oh
right.
man,
Mhm.
Ray is really bad at like reading the room though, and she said that too, but she's really bad at reading the room with Claire.
Mhm.
She's like, because Claire at first is like, hey, let's go out together. Renee's like, no, it's fine. And then maybe she wanted to have some like comfort, you know, in what happened, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Because Claire just started trying to open up, but Ray's just. That must be so frustrating too. Yeah, she still declares her feelings, and Claire's trying to be like, hey, and Renee's just like,
Eh?
eh.
That's funny.
I am worried though because Ray has already done one thing, obviously, in the book that was not great for Claire, and if she betrays her,
Yeah.
which does seem to be a thing because they wouldn't mention it, and she said she wouldn't hesitate.
Mm.
But as we know, like Claire's fate in this game is not great.
Yeah.
But that being said, we also have some weird stuff going on in the game too. Like obviously, Ray didn't know who the mysterious mask guy was in the first volume. We still don't know about that. And like other stuff that she's like, oh, this wasn't in the game either, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder.
So foreboding.
And again, I just wonder too. I think I mentioned this before, and I think someone in the comments had mentioned this. Other people get transported to this world that played the game that are not from this world.
Huh.
Yeah.
That would be
Oh my
interesting
gosh.
to see.
I'm excited for the next chapter.
Yeah.
Prince Rod will probably be back, and actually him. Louis was an interesting character. I wasn't
was.
terribly surprised because playing so many different video games
Oh.
that he betrayed them because I
Okay.
was like, you're holding them back. You're trying to just keep them all together with you. What's going on here?
Yeah.
And then that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That said, Claire witnessing all of this happening and what Louis ended up deciding to do for the sake of his mom was huge.
Yeah, and I really think it's huge for Claire's development too. That the fact that she was all against the commoner movement, but she never really thought about it. And here she is in this town where there's poverty, and she's experienced what Ray's family is experiencing.
Yeah.
And she's just like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is that thinking of her being such a high aristocrat could be very bad for her, especially with Dole whipping her father.
Yeah.
So I feel like Ray is like, yeah, I get it, but if we go down this path, this could be a big problem like later on, which is why she might betray her. We'll have to see. Claire is very though gonna take. She'll if she really wants to do something, she's gonna do it, right?
Yep. And it was a huge moment for Ray to say, "This is supposed to be the villainess."
Yeah.
Because you mentioned that before, that Claire for a villainess is really sweet.
She is.
Even when she was bullying Ray,
Yeah.
she would only take it so far.
Yeah, she wouldn't pour like hot tea on her. She would
Yeah.
splash water on her. She would like,
Yeah.
step on her hand or something, although Ray liked all that anyway. Like villainous characters to me are like ruthless.
Yeah.
Right? So let's just take it to the setting. Let's just say Claire was a villainess. So she would spill the hot drink. She would push her down the stairs. She would be very aggressive to her.
Yeah.
And she's not. Right?
So I think that her growth and development it is twofold in what it shows in the story. On one hand, it shows that, like, I don't know how to quite explain it, but like I was saying, that she's able to see how bad things are. But on the other hand, it also shows that someone who's an aristocrat, who is cast into the villainous role, especially amongst the people who are planning this uprising and things like that, that they aren't necessarily pure evil. So it seems like both parts of society are misunderstanding each other, is what I mean by kind of twofold. You have the commoners who are like making this commoner movement and planning to overthrow the aristocracy, and then the aristocracy, which, to be fair, there are people like Dole who are pretty ruthless, like the way that he was talking about Lene and things like that. And then there are people like Claire who just happened to be born an aristocrat, didn't know anything different, and now that she's put in a situation where she sees something different, there is a place within her to have empathy and to want to do something, and she's helping Louis's mom. She's using what she has to make a difference and make at least Louis's mom's life better, and she wants to do more than that.
She does.
So that's what I mean by, like, as she grows, then there's like this shift in both ways.
Yeah, it is. And if you really want to think about the villainous aspect of this, let's just say Ray does betray her, then she's the villainess. Right? And I think I've said this before, like, because she knows it's going to happen. But if Claire starts to act differently than what the game has programmed her to be, Ray wants to stop this. Obviously, she was, like, trying to tell her, oh, it's not so bad. It's not like that quite, right? So then Ray becomes a villainess, which is very interesting because, you know, she's not an aristocrat. She's not this high and mighty. She just has this knowledge of this world and what will happen. She says she'll protect her no matter what, and that betrayal thing, really. I do, too, wonder about the amulet. Like, there are things in games, right? So you can have an item attached to your character, and if they take, like, a fatal hit, that'll protect them. It's a one-use only. If that amulet has any more, or if that's all it was, which is very interesting. Because if I remember correctly, too, there was 2 of them. Ray has one as well. But, yeah, I feel like that line, again, is very foreboding. She wouldn't say it, and she said it, like, not without hesitation. Like, if she does betray Claire eventually, that is going to be astronomical, right? It's going to really put a huge wrench into their relationship because... And then Minardi can come back and yell at her, or come at, you know, she's like, I'm gonna come back.
I just thought of something, too, that Ray is basically Claire's eyes into the world of being a commoner.
She is.
So, if Ray does something like that, that's a betrayal. We're, of course, just guessing what kind of things could happen. Theory crafting. But yeah, if Ray ends up, like, doing something to betray Claire, I mean, at least Claire now has seen more of what it's like to live as a commoner, but that could really change the process of Claire's growth.
Yeah, no, it really could. And then if Ray does in fact betray her, Claire has basically put herself for this girl. She's like, I will take her under my charge, so to speak. So if something happened like that, like, it could fall on Claire.
Yeah. That said, there are some times with stories that you'll ask me, what do you think is going to happen with this? What do you think is going to happen with that? And there are certain stories where I think I can guess better than others. And sometimes I'll say, I'm not even going to guess because what is going to happen in the story is probably something that I haven't even thought of yet. And I think that's the case for this story.
Well, yeah, because we're in uncharted territory, right? Because we watched the anime, right? And it stopped. And then we read the first light novel, and it basically just continues on to this one. And then now we're in uncharted waters, like I mentioned before. So anything can happen.
Well, of course, but there are some stories that are a lot more predictable than others.
This one's not predictable.
And this one, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there are some, like, from a gamer perspective, there are some things that are predictable, like Louis' betrayal, right? To me.
Who plays a lot of games.
But I'm such a gamer. But there are some things that... Hearing Ray already be like, hey, listen, I'll betray Claire, who I want to be with no matter what, want to protect.
You wouldn't have seen that one coming.
I was kind of like, wow.
Yeah.
And then I go back to the scene with her telling Claire that I will leave you. That was so sad.
Uh,
So really, Ray will do whatever it takes, even if it does mean, yeah, I was like, wow, okay, that's pretty, because she promised Menaria she'd take care of her, right? If we remember, before Menaria is going off to take over, to become a queen, or a girl king.
Girl king.
Yeah. So, I don't know, if Claire gets betrayed by Ray, I mean, I will see more Menaria, but I
I'll
hope
be your subject, Menaria.
I do hope that if Ray does betray her, it's not going to be like, I hope she doesn't, but if she does, like, I just feel like it will. I know I'm like overanalyzing it because I'm just like, what does that mean, Ray? What
Right.
do you know, Ray?
Only
if we go
time
to
will
the
tell.
anime, at the end of the anime, we do see that Claire is about to be executed.
Mm-hmm.
So she could betray her because she won't get executed.
And there was some kind of reference to that sort of thing early on in the light novel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That prepared us for it more than the anime did.
Yeah.
The anime, everyone was like, you don't know why Ray's doing the things she's doing. You don't understand. And we're like, we totally understand. And then in the very end, we're like, we didn't understand.
We didn't see it all.
Because we just didn't see that one coming.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ah.
yeah, we'll have to see what this light novel has in store for us yet. Yep. Thanks you all so much for hanging out with us here. If you've enjoyed hanging out with us while we read this book, check out our YouTube channel membership, which you can join to chat in with us on our monthly live streams. Look forward to connecting with you again soon, and we will be sending so much love. Till next time.
Laters.